The next 10 minutes or so, as the music plays, we invite you to close your eyes, just relax, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Da Namo Namaha.
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online global satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that literally means community of truth. But what it really refers to is when two or more people on the path of realizing the truth, awakening into oneness, the flowering of the heart in oneness with the divine, when two or more people who are on that journey come together to share their journeys, their presence, their breakthroughs, their challenges, we have a satsang. And our strength is multiplied exponentially. Our inner silence and inner space is deepened exponentially when we join together. So glad you're here. We clearly live at a time where the world needs to shift from competition, conflict, and war to cooperation, harmony, and peace. Cooperation, harmony, and peace are fruits of the flowering human spirit, human heart. And for the world to shift, we need the consciousness of the world. We need the collective consciousness of humanity to awaken and shift together. That's happening right now, one person at a time. But as you and I awaken and our awakening deepens and expands, it sends out ripples into the collective consciousness of humanity. It's far easier, the journey of awakening, from my observation, now than it was 50 years ago when I started out as a spiritual teacher. It was rough. Quite a roller coaster ride, and it's not easy, but it is so much smoother. Really, it is. There's so much less obvious spiritual warfare involved. If you look at a tanka, Tibetan painting of the Buddha's awakening, the awakening of Shakyamuni Buddha, he's sitting there so serene, one hand in the meditation position, the other hand draped over his knee, touching the earth. And all of the trees and the plants and the animals and all the creatures are responding to the awakened presence of the Buddha. Then you'd notice that there's a golden bubble around the Buddha of protection. And on the other side of that bubble are hordes of demonic, dark entities that are firing arrows and spears and throwing weapons, trying to destroy the Buddha because he's endangering this, whatever the agenda is, to keep humanity asleep and in divided, separate consciousness. They couldn't touch the Buddha. But the fact that in those paintings you can see all what Buddhists call the forces of Mara. Mara is the Buddhist version of the devil. We're trying to destroy Buddha the moment he became enlightened. Shows the kind of warfare that used to surround great light beings, showers of the way. Buddha, for one, who eventually was poisoned later in life. We know about Jesus of Nazareth, what happened to him. Other luminaries like Mahatma Gandhi, even people showing the way in culture and society, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who began to shine the light for racial equality. And he was assassinated. So there used to be, and there still is, a tremendous warfare around the beings who are awakening and then shining their light into the world. But frankly, there are just too many of us now. There are so many awakened people on earth now that, there's no way you could get them all. Used to be kind of one at a time. There was Buddha, and there was Jesus, and there was Muhammad, and there was Lao Tzu, but they were all there kind of as individuals in their day. And their lives were tough. So we should be very, very grateful that we're living at a time where there's so much grace assisting our awakening. Speaking of which, we share something throughout the satsangs here at our center and online called the Flowering Heart Blessing, which is a direct transmission of the divine presence, of awakened consciousness, love, peace that passes all understanding. It's a gift from the divine itself that the Divine revealed to me and Suzanne about 10 years ago now. We'd been sharing another kind of blessing, or what they call Diksha in Sanskrit. And Suzanne and I have been sharing various forms of spiritual transmission going back decades that help people to awaken. But about 10 years ago, the Divine showed us this one, said, start sharing this. Give it away, don't charge for it, it's free, and tell people when you've received one of these blessings, you're fully initiated to invite the Divine to flow through you to share this blessing with others. So you should know you're soaking in it right now. I noticed, hi Cindy. Cindy McKenna said she's introducing a friend today. So your friend should know that he or she is soaking in awakened consciousness and divine presence. And we'd like to invite everyone to join us in flowing out the Flowering Heart blessing to everyone who joins us in the Satsang tonight, and everyone who will be viewing this recording during the next week. During the week between Monday to Monday, we sometimes have a couple hundred people come in and watch it at a different time that's more convenient for them. We want them to experience the very same grace and presence that we are. So we hold that intention, and the Divine just pours it through us. You don't really need to know what you're doing. But if you'd like to know more, you can go to the floweringheart.org website, where we have a 36-minute initiation video. You don't really need it because you're being initiated right now. But we explain a little bit more about the blessing and take you through a guided meditation to open and receive it and invite the Divine to use you as a vessel. It's 36 minutes long. I think you'd enjoy it. You're free to use it, incidentally. If you're in a community that doesn't have a blessing circle, a group that shares effective transmissions of divine grace that bring about awakening, like the Flowering Heart blessing, you can just download the video off our website. You're free to do that. Or you can just pull it up on your laptop, invite a friend over, and hit play. 36 minutes later, you're both ready to be giving blessings to each other, and we'd love to see you start groups in your own communities and just give it away. That's what divine grace is. It's a gift. It's a gift of pure love. It's not from me and Suzanne or from any particular lineage or master. It's from the divine source itself. And it awakens, the Flowering Heart blessing, it awakens the inner connection to the divine within you. You can experience the divine through a guru, a master, a great saint, and that's wonderful, and it will catalyze you. But eventually, we come to the realization the outer world's a reflection of the inner world. The light that we experience shining through the guru, the saint, the master, the spiritual teacher, was reflecting to us our own true essence. The Flowering Heart blessing takes you right to it and begins the unfolding and flowering of your own divine essence. It's sweet, so enjoy. What else? November 8th and 9th, we're having the first Diamond Heart quantum liberation process that we've held in the last 18 months. So
16?
You're the one that told me 18, so
Oh.
if I'm wrong...
It was July a year ago, so...
No, it was June.
It was July.
Whatever it was, she's the one that told me 18 months, so you're welcome to correct it. But it's been well over a year, and it's about time that we do it again. It's a powerful course, which invokes some of the insights of quantum physics, where a dramatic, instantaneous shift of consciousness is possible. And we hold the intention for that to happen for each person that participates. November 8th and 9th, it will be held residentially here at Flowering Heart Center. This course is so powerful, we need to do it with you in person. And we share the distillation of all the tools for awakening and transformation that Suzanne and I have been gathering for so many years. And if we just had 2 days to share with you what would be the most important processes, what would they be? Well, here they are. So join us if you can. There's more information again on our website, floweringheart.org. August 31st, our book club is starting a new book. We have a book club that meets at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. And it focuses on books that are about meditation, contemplation, mystical transformation and awakening. And we spend an hour discussing whatever book we're on. And then we do 30 minutes of centering meditation, which is a form of contemplative practice that focuses on the God within. So if that's part of your spirituality, I encourage you to explore centering meditation. It's also known as centering prayer. And do it with us, because you really get it when you do it with a group. It's contagious. That's from 3 to 3:30, and that's ongoing. I don't know if, let's see, I'm not seeing Ekaterina, so I'll reach out to her another way. But we've been taking a break from 2 to 3 while we waited to start our new book. The 31st of August, we'll be beginning the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, the central mystical treatise of the spiritual path of Taoism. It is my foundational path that I became my master when I was in my teenage years, taught me meditation, energy work, and internal alchemy, and so many things. He was an awakened and enlightened monk from the mountains of China. And I was very fortunate when I was very young to be taken into his inner circle. So I'll be there helping with our contemplation of the Tao Te Ching. A guy that was my senior student for 15 years, who's a Sifu in his own right, my senior student now, who's really an adept of Qigong and Taoist meditation. Just 3 members of that book club group have deep roots in the Tao Te Ching and Taoism, so it should be a real, and there are many others that have never even read it. So join us if you can, starting, and there's information again on the website, but August 31st, Sunday at 2 p.m. At 3 p.m., the centering meditation group, it's ongoing. We're doing it between now and August 31st. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and anyone's welcome to drop in and join us. Just make sure you arrive before we start, or you won't know what's going on. I think that's it for announcements. Well, okay then. I'd like to open it at this point to questions and answers about the spiritual journey. Anything that might be on your mind that you'd like additional light, clarity, insight, just ask. It inspires the divine to pour out light and inspiration to me and Suzanne to share with the group, and it helps all of us. So while you're looking inside and asking that inner divine presence, is there some question you might share that would stimulate the discussion tonight, I take a brief aside at a website called inspiringquotes.com, a group of authors that writes timely little articles and shares a selection of quotes from influential people throughout time that shed light on those particular topics. Today we're going to be looking at 10 quotes for when you're being too hard on yourself. And this was written by Joyce Chen. We use a lot of stuff from Joyce. We're really grateful for her input. She's a writer, editor, and community builder based in Seattle, Washington. So thank you for this, Joyce. Let's see what you have to say about being too hard on ourselves. It's often easier to tell others to be gentle with themselves than to enact that same grace in our own lives. As human beings, we have a tendency to set high personal standards. And when we don't meet them, we criticize ourselves for falling short, or perhaps even for dreaming too big. The frustration we feel when something goes wrong is often self-directed. But this feeling of self-blame is a common one, and there are many ways to remedy the situation. A big part of getting out of a rut is recognizing there will always be things that are out of our control. Furthermore, there will always be situations in our lives that turn out less than ideal, such as coming up short in a job interview, or dropping the ball on a correspondence with a friend. The trick is to shift our focus away from self-criticism and toward progress and possibility. Failure, or anything that feels like it, is a learning tool that helps us better understand ourselves, our bandwidth, and our drive. In other words, it's an opportunity to turn a negative into a positive. So the next time we're feeling down, let's try to remember we're all doing the best we can. Here, we've rounded up 10 quotes that may just be what you need to hear on those days when you're being too hard on yourself. So here's the first one. You must be very polite with yourself when you are learning something new. Elizabeth Gilbert. Those parts of yourself that you desperately want to hide and destroy will gain power over you. The best thing to do is face and own them because they are forever a part of you. Janet Mock. I've never felt that anything really mattered, but the satisfaction of knowing that you stood for the things in which you believed and had done the very best you could. Eleanor Roosevelt. It's like a mother. When the baby's crying, she picks up the baby and she holds the baby tenderly in her arms. Your pain, your anxiety is your baby. You have to take care of it. You have to go back to yourself, recognize the suffering in you, embrace the suffering, and you get relief. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master. Don't sabotage yourself. There are enough people out there who will do it for you. Adam Gnabe. You don't have to be good at everything in your life, but it doesn't mean you can't enjoy new experiences even if you're not good at them. Stephen Aitchison. You can't build joy on a feeling of self-loathing. Ram Dass. Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. Lucille Ball. Remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Louise Hay. Talk to yourself as you would someone you love. Brené Brown. I suppose someone will be thinking there are some of us who aren't hard enough on ourselves. But a lot of us, especially those of us on the journey of self-discovery and transformation, awakening, can be too hard when we disappoint ourselves. Joyce Chen said at the beginning in her little article that, remember, we're all doing the best we can. Well, maybe. But I know this, and this we heard from a monk in India, and I think it's true, that you could not have done better than you did at the level of consciousness you were in at that time. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me think about that. I mean, maybe we could have done worse, but we couldn't do better than we're doing at the level of consciousness we are currently. Einstein said something roughly like, you can't fix a problem in the same mindset or state of consciousness in which you created it. It'll just repeat itself. So we need to evolve to a higher point of view, a higher perspective, greater clarity and depth of consciousness. Then we can do better. But in looking back at where we blew it, remember, you actually couldn't have done better than you did at the level of consciousness you were at that day, at that time. Lighten up a little bit. Want to add anything about that? I don't think we're too, never mind, I'm going to drop that. So, thank you for the compliment. Lila says, we're both glowing.
We just got back from the beach.
Okay, and Maury writes, may the leaders be inspired and successful for peace between Ukraine and Russia soon. Amen. Yeah, that's so difficult. I was moved. Try not to dwell on it, but it's hard not to notice what's going on with Putin and Trump meeting in Canada and meeting with Zelensky today, and the tone of some of these interactions. One little bright light I saw was that Melania Trump wrote a letter personally to Putin and had it delivered to him personally during her meeting with his husband, where she said that children are our future. We all love the children, and that we need to protect the children and take care of the children and do no more harm to them. And evidently she was coming from a very intense place to write a personal letter that, that her husband didn't give to him, that somebody else gave to Putin to read, where she really called him to record about taking care of the children. It's in these war-torn places where innocents are being so affected. It's the worst of it. The children in Ukraine, in Gaza, in other places that are war zones on earth. The children suffer so much. And she spoke to the issue of taking children from their native land and taking them to another culture, another country, and resettling them away from their families and their land, and that we just can't do that. And I was sort of proud of her for that. So yeah, may the leaders be inspired and successful for peace between Ukraine and Russia soon. So are there any questions? Why is this going on so long? Well, we'll see. I might be addressing some of that on our message at the end of the month, the Interfaith Communion with the Cosmic Christ. I'm not going to tell you too much now. but may answer some of these questions about why some of these things are permitted to go on. We'll wait a couple more minutes. Let's see, back here. Nope.
Well, I could share my week with insects.
Oh, please do.
Having a very interesting week with the insect world. Started about a week ago. We got a cricket in our house. We still have our Christmas tree up. We decided just to leave it up year round.
It's been there for how many years?
5, 6
years at least.
Anyway, yeah, it was because it was COVID. Like each year, one of our kids got COVID right during Christmas, so we couldn't gather for like 4 years. And then we just got used to it, and the community really likes it in the living room, so we just leave it up. And I was in the kitchen the other night, and there was a cricket in the tree, in the Christmas tree, and it only chirps at night. And it was really loud and really, really fun. I've never had a cricket inside of my house before, and I remembered the Chinese used to build little houses for them and bring them food to eat, and it's considered very auspicious to have a cricket in your house. So I'm having fun with this cricket, and then my daughter was helping me move something heavy outside, and she really dislikes bugs, and she's very afraid of them. And there was this praying mantis walking along a chair, and I wanted to go pick it up, but I didn't want it to get startled. And so I turned around, and it jumped on my back, and then it crawled up onto my head, and then I gently lifted it off, and it jumped away, and then it tried to jump back on me, and I thought, this is strange. And my daughter and I were talking about butterflies and how beautiful they are, and then we saw a dragonfly flying around, and I said, oh, I love dragonflies. They're supposed to be like the connection between the spirit world and our world, and how beautiful dragonflies are. And she said, oh, they just freak me out. I just don't like dragonflies. So we're having this conversation about bugs, and then later that night there was what kind of butterfly was it?
A swallowtail butterfly.
Swallowtail butterfly, part of the monarch family. And it landed right in front of me.
Black wings with swallowtails and yellow spots all around the edge.
Yellow spots. So this one landed right by my foot, and I sat there and watched it for a while, and I realized it was at the end of its life. And so I reached down very carefully, and I picked it up, and I put it on my heart chakra. And I was sitting there holding it, giving it energy work and telling it that I loved it, and just really deeply connecting with this butterfly. It took about an hour and a half, but the last little flutter of its wings, every once in a while it would just barely flutter the wings. And then it just stopped fluttering, and I could tell it was gone, and it was kind of interesting to be there and have this intimate moment with a butterfly at the end of its life. And so then, I came back in, and the cricket had moved into the kitchen, and we have a gecko that lives in our kitchen that we like living there. And it was running across the top of a wall towards the cricket, and I stopped and I had a conversation with the gecko. I said, please do not eat the cricket. We like the cricket in the house. And it stopped, and it kind of turned
gecko,
a little bit.
Please don't eat the cricket.
Yes, that's what I said.
You guys get along.
Right, you guys are buds. Let's just keep the cricket here. So anyway, very interesting events
Interactions
this week
with nature.
With nature,
especially
and particularly into insects. Yeah, it's funny. Just wanted to share that. I've never had that kind of communion with insects before. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool ones. Praying mantises or
butterfly.
As long as you're not her spouse.
Right.
We don't need to get into that. Yeah, and butterflies.
Oh, and then the next day my daughter decided she wanted to paint. She had all of her paints out on a drop cloth, and she was taking those little canvas boards, And she was drawing these really beautiful butterflies and watercolor painting them in. I thought that was funny.
It's probably the one insect she can stand.
No, she said she didn't like dragonflies as she went kayaking with her
you
friend
said
once.
butterflies.
No, she was drawing dragonflies and watercolor
Now I'm
painting
completely
it.
confused.
Yeah, anyway, she likes butterflies, but so she was making kind of friends with dragonflies by painting them. It was very sweet.
So Yekaterina is with us and has a question. Before we go to answer it, we've missed you the last 2 Sundays. I don't know if that's because of your new cell phone or you've been filming on a new project, but I just want to make sure that you know that the centering meditation is going on at 3, even though we're taking a break from the books until the end of the month. So please join us if you can. Ekaterina asks, how can we integrate those parts of us we want to hide? Was Thich Nhat Hanh, was it he the one that said that? No. Well, one of the quotes, I'll just find it real quick. I said I'd find it real quick. No, here's the one about it's like a baby. So, those parts of yourself that you desperately want to hide and destroy will gain power over you. The best thing to do is face and own them because they are forever a part of you. Janet Mock. So, she makes the point that the parts of us that we want to hide and destroy and suppress gain power over us. The more energy we put into suppressing those unacceptable parts of ourselves, the more those shadows gain energy and control over us. So the best thing to do, and I like to say, anything you resist will persist. So maybe you have a problem with, it could be anger, it could be lust, it could be fear that causes you to act inappropriately, and it's just unacceptable. I should be patient and calm, not angry. You know, I shouldn't be fearful. I should trust in God. Etc. And so sometimes, out of the sincere effort to be good people, we suppress those parts of ourselves, and then they just gain power over us and destroy us. So those, Carl Jung, the great psychologist, called shadows, pieces of our personalities that we've suppressed into the unconscious because they're too dark to accept. The only solution is to let the shadows emerge into our awareness and own them, which is what Janet said here. The best thing you can do is face and own them because they're forever a part of you. They don't need to control you. But as long as we try to push it away from ourselves, go, oh, not me, I'm not that angry person, then we'll experience being sort of taken over by anger at certain points, going, what possessed me? Well, it's the shadow of anger. So the first thing to do is face them. And how do you face them? You have to become aware of them. Sometimes therapy can help. A good therapist can help you see your shadows, what you're suppressing. Often we project those on other people, those parts of ourselves that we're the most hard on. Oh no, I'm not angry. That's a horrible angry person, And so that projection and judgment on others is often something that's pointing right back at something in us, which is why we hate that when we see it in somebody else. They're jealous. Well, maybe there's a jealous bone somewhere deep inside. So we have to let it surface. Experience can do that. Life will trigger the charges and bring up that shadow material, and that's an opportunity to own it rather than run away from it. Meditation is a wonderful way. In deep receptive forms of meditation like Zen or TM or Taoist meditation or or centering. I think centering is the ultimate one that I've experienced, because you just don't do anything except just keep opening to the divine presence within you. All the suppressed material in the unconscious begins to unload and come up, which makes some people want to abandon their meditation practice. I understand. Just take it easy, go easy. That is an opportunity to face and own these parts of yourselves and love them. That's what Thich Nhat Hanh said. Be like a mother. This anxious part of you, this fearful or angry part of you, that's your baby. Take the baby in your arms and love it and bring it back home. It's not an easy process, the shadow work. And it's not something that's done generally overnight. It happens at the rate that we're able to handle it, because there can be a lot of material down there in the unconscious from our early childhood development that we don't even know about. Things that happened, traumas, hurts that we experienced between our birth and maybe when we're 6 years old that we don't even remember, that have left deep programming and scars in our unconscious. So yes, that does need to be healed. The main thing is when it emerges and we're triggered, because until that stuff is brought fully into the light, and when you love it and embrace it, yes, there's my angry self. Why are you so angry? And listen to it and love it and take it home into oneness in the heart. That will heal that shadow. It will remain a part of you, but when it comes up, it's just your little darling. It no longer controls you. It no longer triggers you. You're no longer in resistance to it. And so it's causing no problems in your life. It's something that you have reintegrated, and that's what you said. How do we reintegrate it? It's through embracing it when it's triggered and arises, which can happen through difficult life experiences that trigger us from outside, or it can happen through very gentle things like prayer, deep meditation, where grace just brings it into light. When it comes up, just praise the divine and be in gratitude and ask for help. So, she said, Thought No Book Club. Yes, but if you read the email I sent and the postings I've been making on Facebook, I said, but the centering group will meet at 3 throughout the month of August up until the 31st. But now you know. That's absolutely right. So, any other questions? There's something else about a part of ourselves that we're aware of that we want to hide and destroy because we're so ashamed of ourselves. And that's find a good spiritual friend and sit down and bare your soul. It needs to be the right person, someone you know loves you unconditionally, will not judge you, will not betray your secrets. But when you bring it out and you share it openly with at least one spiritual friend, it lets so much light shine on that area that sometimes that bondage within us is instantly broken. I think we have so many friends over the years that have been in AA and 12-step groups. And often the relationship between the sponsor who sponsors someone coming into a 12-step group has that kind of openness. And I've seen such beautiful healing take place in people's lives. For me, I was able to do that as a pastor and as a priest, where people know they can tell me anything, and I'm not going to judge them, and I'm not going to betray them or expose them. They're safe with me. And they can actually, if they come in sincerity, I can actually share with them tools and pray with them to receive divine grace, to help free them in that area of their lives and transform them. But it doesn't have to be a priest or a master. It can be just a dear spiritual friend who you have that kind of openness with. Check it out. See what happens. Let me know. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Well, okay then. That sounds good. Then if everyone would, close your eyes, please. And invoke the presence within you. We started out tonight sharing about how the divine presence dwells in you as your essence. The fullness of the Godhead is within you. Oh, I thought God, it was bigger than the universe. Well, God is bigger than the universe. And that whole universe, that whole outward world is a reflection of your inner universe, where God dwells in you at the center of your being as pure, unconditional love. This divine presence loves you unconditionally, no matter how you screw up. This divine presence is all-knowing and knows everything about you, even what you've hidden from yourself, and loves you beyond your imagination. It is all-powerful and is able to give you the help, the grace you need to be free. This divine presence wants to free you from all suffering by drawing you into deepest oneness with itself, realizing your true nature. And all you need to do is let go into the arms of the divine. Receive the light, the grace that is pouring out to you to cause God's presence in you to flower and expand. As it begins to awaken within you, blossom and flower within you, it fills your spirit with light, true enlightenment from within. It floods your soul, your thoughts, your emotions, your psychological programming with grace to erase and grace to flood you with God-given thoughts, divinely inspired feeling, divinely inspired plans and programs, and it yearns to fill you through and through, spirit, soul, and body. It shines out from your heart, filling your physical body with healing grace. Receive it. Just drink it in. Soak it up. You can't take too much. There's plenty more where that's coming from. Just keep receiving. Keep breathing it in, drinking it in, soaking it up. Receive the grace that knows exactly what you need and how to use it to set you free. It will heal your body. It will shine out into your relationships and make them right. It will shine out through your life into the world to catalyze others on the path of awakening. Just allow the light to shine. As you let go, it will draw you into the center of itself. Imagine we're seated in a circle. With our eyes closed, lift up your hands with your palms open and let us all invite together the divine presence to pour the flowering heart blessing through us. As it flows through us, it works even more powerfully than when we're just receiving a blessing. So let it flow through you to all the others seated in the circle, knowing it's flowing back to you through all of them. Center of the circle, put it into the hands of God and leave it there. We lift it up as we lift you up into the divine presence. Imagine the world leaders in the middle of our circle, particularly those who have to bear upon peace between Ukraine and Russia, between Israel and Gaza and Palestine. We ask you, dear divine presence, to flood the hearts of our leaders with wisdom, compassion, and willingness to allow your will to be done on earth. It is your will that all war should cease to the end of the world. May it be so. Melt the hatred, melt the anger, melt the greed, melt the fear. Especially let the violence be dissolved away in love, peace, and compassion. See our leaders, our world leaders being filled with light from the divine presence. Changing their hearts, changing their minds, transforming our world. It is said in Scripture, the heart of the leader is in the hands of the Lord, and just like the rivers of water, He turns the heart of the leader any way He wills. So mighty is the will of the divine. May it be done. Floodgates, let them stream into the earth to protect the innocent, to put an end to war. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now you can relax your hands somewhere on your lap. Open your eyes. Begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Just keep gazing at least one of our eyes during the light meditation. That's all you need to do. Don't look away. Just keep connecting, looking, and receive. Oceans of grace are flooding us, and they stream through every part of our being, especially through our eyes. The light streams out through our eyes, in through your eyes, into your spiritual heart, causing the fires of divine love, the light of awakening, to grow brighter and brighter and brighter. Just meditating as long as it feels nice to you. Or you could lie in Shavasana. That's to find a nice place nearby to lie down comfortably on your back with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms open, turned upward. And just let yourself dissolve with gratitude in the presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Till we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine within you, and we bow to you. Namaste.